types of Americans, those who live in New York and those who wish they could.
I was watching Billy Joel last night, and he was singing New York State of Mind, and I just started to cry. It was pretty beautiful. Good morning, everybody. I am Ann Williams-Isom. I'm the Deputy Mayor for Health and Human Services, and we are here this morning to talk about an action that the administration is taking to help support survivors and families touched by domestic violence. I'll let the mayor get into details, but some of you know that I have a personal story as a child witness of domestic violence. When we were growing up, before I was 6 years old, there was violence in our household. And so as I was thinking about it today, in the midst of all of the chaos that was happening, what was the thing that really steadied my mom and my brothers and myself? And I think it was stability, her stability, and making sure that she was okay. It was security and feeling like we were safe. And it was permanency, which is a weird word to use, but the idea that our little house in Queens, that when I look at it now seems super small, but was so important to us, and the fact that we were able to have our home. She was a registered nurse, so she had a career. We had our St. Catherine's of Siena, thank God for the nuns at the school, and for our community. Those are the things that children need, but that adults need also when they're going through challenges. Before I hand it over to the mayor, let me tell you who's here today. We have Department of Social Services Commissioner Molly Park, Mayor's Office to End Domestic Gender-Based Violence Acting Commissioner Saloni Sethi. We have Administrator Carter is here today. We have Nicole Branca, say it again, Nicole, Branca, the Executive Director of New Destiny, and many others from New Destiny. And we have Daenerys Espinal, survivor of domestic violence, who's going to talk to us a little bit about her experience. With that, I am going to turn it over to the mayor.
Thank you so much, and thank you for that personal narrative. And that's what I believe is really the trademark of this administration. Each one of us bring our own story. And it's more than just governing. Sometimes we politicize instead of personalizing the impact of these policies that we're putting in place. And, you know, I too see how small Mom's house is right now, but we always had a home. And no matter how abusive, you know, Dad during his moments as he was, we had that home. We had that room. We had our place that we can close the door and cry silently and just watch your mom the next day with some of the physical presence of it. But she was always just strong, and she would just say, you know, children, we're going to continue to survive. But these are real stories. And the home does not displace the pain, but it gives you a place to escape. And it's just a moment. We talked about this on the campaign trail, and we stated that we were going to do something about domestic violence in this city. And this is one of the many steps. It's not the ending step, but it's one of the many steps. And as I look at Daenerys, think about as borough president, you know, many people don't realize with the various cultures we have in this city, you think everyday New Yorkers don't report it. You go into these various cultures in various societies, various communities that could be insulated. You are ostracized if you report domestic violence. And Bahi, who is part of my team now, we were able to support the opening of a Muslim shelter for women who were victims of domestic violence. That was a significant moment because many of them had nowhere to go, nothing to do, and you know, when you look at if English is a second language, how challenging it is. If you come from one of the insulated communities in our city, and there are many, where a woman is trapped inside and they have to just live with the abuse. They get a lot of attacks from their loved ones, their family members. Why are you leaving? Why are you embarrassing the community? Why are you putting your children through that? And the cases are unbelievable, and we hear them over and over again. But we are committed to tackling this head on. It's a well-kept secret in our city. In my years as a police officer, it was always known tell the abuser was told just to walk it off, walk around the block. They would discourage the women or men from reporting the abuse, and we just had to stop. And that's what this administration is doing. So kudos to you, Deputy Mayor Williams-Isom, as you bring your personal narrative to changing the narrative, what abusers are doing and those who are abused, what they're going through. Everyone deserves a safe home and a safe relationship, and to be given the freedom and dignity that they deserve and not have to deal with domestic and or gender-based violence. And for too many New Yorkers, home is not safe, and you are caught in that web of not being able to move forward economically, and a place to live, and a place to take care of your loved ones. And their lives are ripped apart due to the abuse and the violence. Imagine coming home afraid to walk into your home because someone is there that's going to physically, verbally abuse you. That is so traumatic, because home is your safety, and for far too many, they are not experiencing that safety. And their options are narrow, because escape can have terrible consequences on their ability to earn money, find a place to live, and simply stay safe. And too often, domestic violence survivors end up in shelters as they are forced to leave their homes. No one should have to experience this, and no one should have to go through this, and no one should have to live in pain and fear every day. Domestic violence can happen anywhere in the city. We had an incident on the subway yesterday where a person attacked their loved one, and 2 transit employees came to their aid, and those transit employees were slashed. We had an incident where a woman was pushed to the tracks and lost her legs because of domestic abuse. The full scope of this abuse is really the number of assaults and even homicides. You're seeing a significant presence of domestic violence that's attached to it. And that's why today we are giving domestic and gender-based violence survivors hope with Project Home, a pilot program to provide rapid housing assistance to domestic violence survivors with children living in shelters. We are going to help 100 families in this pilot rebuild their lives, find safe, permanent homes, and reduce the time they have to spend in shelter. We are also announcing expanding eligibility for supportive and affordable housing for domestic violence survivors. For too long, bureaucratic rules have prevented survivors from applying for supportive and affordable housing that was set aside for families leaving city shelter. But we're putting an end to that and ensuring that survivors have even more permanent housing options available to them, allowing clients to apply directly to more units and shortening their stays in shelter. Domestic and gender-based violence is a public safety problem that we need to not only address by ensuring those who are abusers are held accountable, but not to continue the abuse by having a bureaucratic process that are not allowed the stabilization that Deputy Mayor Williams-Isom was speaking about. And just in 2023, there were more than 245,000 domestic violence incidents reports filed by the New York City Police Department. And when you look at the number, you're talking about 700 acts a day. Project Home and other housing eligibility expansion will be a lifeline for survivors, open the door to a safe home and future. And we're gonna need our partners to do that. Hats off, and just thank you to New Destiny Housing for partnering with us to get this done and telling us the best way to get it done, because they're on the front line and they can help us be smarter as we execute these plans. I cannot say thank you enough to the entire team that's here. This is real work, and you have to be committed to this work to get it right. When we provide housing and service to domestic violence survivors and their families, we create a better environment for our city. And so today's Project Home pilot is another commitment delivered from Women Forward NYC, something that our women deputy mayors and their team have put together, and we are implementing on these projects. of more than $43 million investments that addresses the needs of women in the 5 boroughs with an emphasis on women of color and LGBTQ plus community. This announcement also builds on the work we have already begun to tackle domestic and gender-based violence head-on. And I was proud to sign 2 bills in my first year in office that provided support for domestic and gender-based violence survivors. And the mayor's office to end domestic and gender-based violence continues to do incredible work. I want to thank them for what they're doing by remaining on the ground. We cannot tolerate domestic violence in our city. We must lead from the front. New York City is going to make sure we send the right message that would cascade out throughout the entire country. When we came into office 2 years ago, we were clear with our mission: public safety, and this is part of that, revitalizing our economy and making the city more livable for every New Yorker. It is not livable if our victims are living in fear. And we will continue to be steadfast and fight against domestic violence and ensure that we can create the right environment. Thank you to everyone that's involved.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm having so many thoughts, but one is that it's a program enhancement, but it's also a policy change. People say that we don't do enough policy work, right? We probably don't talk about it enough, but how does it reflect our values and the New York that we want to see for our New Yorkers in the future? Nicole, come on up from New Destiny.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Nicole Branca. I'm a very tall executive director for New Destiny Housing. We work to end the cycle of abuse and homelessness for DV survivors and their families, and we do this by connecting them to safe, permanent, affordable housing and services so that they can find safety and rebuild their lives. So this is a very big day for us. Every 2 minutes, the NYPD receives a report of domestic violence. That means that since this press conference began, 8 people have reported being abused. It takes tremendous courage for a person to make this call, and even more courage for them to leave their abuser. It's fear of being found by their abuser, but it's also the fear of leaving everything behind, including their savings and all their belongings. This is compounded by the extreme shortage of housing in this city. Especially if you're in the homeless shelter system. And if you're a DV survivor living in a very separate shelter system, even further hidden from you and with less resources. But that changes today. Thank you to Mayor Adams, Deputy Mayor, all the commissioners who are here and not here. This took a village to make happen. To bring these critical resources to domestic violence survivors. And as the mayor said, really listening to those who are doing this work on the ground. We have Daenerys, Michelle, and Stephanie who are here today, who have all been very brave sharing their story. And this is a result of that. Our families need safe, supportive housing. Many of our families need they just need somebody to look out for them. They just need permanent, affordable housing, but they also need supportive housing. We have been fighting for this for decades, so this is a very big moment. There's been a lot of our survivors, and this is not often talked about, but a lot of our survivors struggle with the long-term physical and mental effects of abuse, and both them and the children who witness it and sadly sometimes experience it themselves. And so this is incredible to be able to offer this resource to our tenants moving forward. I also want to thank the Fund to End Youth and Family Homelessness and the Helmsley Charitable Trust for funding the pilot that we're here celebrating today. We would not be able to do this without our private sector partners. They're seeding this program for the city and New Destiny to launch. And we are confident that this will provide a strategy for ending family homelessness in the long run. And this deputy mayor / stage manager, I'm sensing, wants me to wrap up. I'll just say that lastly, I want to thank my staff for hitting the pavement day after day, showing that this can in fact be done, finding apartments, not saying no, moving heaven and earth to get our tenants, our DV survivors housed. And then again, lastly, it has to be said, Daenerys, Stephanie, and Michelle, thank you for not being afraid to tell your story and being our heroes.
I'm not feeling like Deputy Mayor today. I'm feeling like Miss Edna's youngest daughter. Very proud, very proud. Hopefully she's not watching. She can't hear us too well anyway. She'll be like, you had on a nice dress, but what were you talking about? I say, it doesn't matter, Mommy. Daenerys, come on up.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Morning. My name is Daniris Espinal. I'm a domestic violence survivor and a member of New Destiny Survivor Voices Project. I'm one of the survivors who were connected to New Destiny for housing search assistance. When things happened, I was committed to do everything possible for me and my kids to get a safe, permanent home. That's when I reached out to New Destiny. They helped me apply for an emergency housing voucher through ENDGBV, which came with the assistance of a housing navigator. My navigator, Tamika, was compassionate, kind, and dedicated to helping our family find a new place to live. She helped me with the housing search, talk to landlords, and find a place to live in a neighborhood with good schools for my kids, which was really important to me. Eventually, we found a new apartment and everything started to change for the better. My abuse had left me with high anxiety and trauma, brain for years, but finally having a place of my own allowed me to actually start healing and planning for the future. The aftercare I received as part of the EHV voucher was pivotal to this, and it's allowed me to rebuild my life, my identity, with the support I needed to succeed. Now I'm absolutely thrilled to be standing here as we announce that aftercare and housing navigation, finally, these essential services that helped me so much through one of the most difficult points in my life, will be available to even more survivors through Project Home. Every survivor deserves this opportunity. It is what has allowed me to prove that I can be successful, all while taking care of my children and my health. It is what has allowed my kids to thrive as they continue to grow up in a comfortable home. Thank you to the city, New Destiny, and the private funders for making this pilot program possible. I'm excited to see the difference it can make for survivors currently living in the shelter system. Stable housing is not a privilege, it's a right. And with the right tools and the right resources, I know that every single New Yorker can have access to this most basic of human needs. Thank you so much.
Goodness, such like a basic human right, right? Yeah, thank you. Most foundational thing that anyone can have. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I'll take questions right now. Hopefully none from me, because I'm emotional, but we'll get the crew to answer some. You guys step up, because I know, step right here.
Grant program for survivors of domestic violence that I believe New Destiny is actually called to fund significantly more than is being funded in the budget. So how does this play into that current program? Is it the same thing?
Sure.
And is the city going to fund it to the 6 million level?
Yeah, so that microgrant program is available to any survivor to remain safely housed and avoid shelter entry. So it's slightly separate, right? So that's about keeping people in their homes so they can avoid shelter. And I think we have to keep working on both ends. So we're getting as many people out of shelter into housing, and then those that are in housing, if they can stay in their housing and be safe, we want to keep them there.
Okay, that's from Univision. What about these vouchers? Are going to apply for migrant women? Because we know that migrant women are part of these victims.
So these are City for HEPS vouchers. In order to qualify for City for HEPS, you need to be public assistance eligible. That includes some of the recent asylum seekers, certainly not all of the recent asylum seekers, but in addition, we're working very closely with the state, who has recently created some housing vouchers that are available irrespective of immigration status. So we look forward to be able to serve a wider population going forward.
And the 100 families that are going to be in this are going to be picked randomly, right? Good, and then we'll do the evaluation that way. Good?
On FEPS, just a couple of things on this. One, so this is for supportive housing, right? Just to
So we actually announced 3 different things today. One is the enhanced housing navigation services working with New Destiny. That is for families with City for HEPS vouchers who are in the DHS shelter system. And they can move anywhere in the state, actually, with City for HEPS. Then we also announced expanded eligibility for supportive housing and for HPD homeless set-asides, which may be coupled with City for HEPS, but not necessarily.
What are the criteria on the expanded eligibility?
So in the past, it has been eligibility for HPD units has been limited to those who are in DHS shelters. So that has excluded those in the HRA domestic violence shelter system. So now families who are in the HRA domestic violence system will be able to connect directly to the HPD homeless set-asides. And for 1515 supportive housing, we are expanding the pool of eligibility beyond the narrow focus on serious mental illness and substance use to also include those who've experienced the trauma of domestic violence.
One last thing on FEPS is, I mean, the council pushed for an expansion that's implemented into the law. Where is that as far as the administration goes? Like,
There's active litigation going on, so I'm not going to comment on that.
Anything else on topic? Yeah. What is the eligibility for the pilot program for the 100 families?
So we'll be identifying families in the DHS shelter system who have a domestic violence history that have been screened as meeting the state standard for, there's a specific state definition for domestic violence survivor. We will identify families who've been newly allocated a City for HEPS voucher, and then we're going to have a randomized control, so actually another 100 families who meet the same definition, so that we're actually able to do a really rigorous assessment of the effectiveness here, so that we can demonstrate that this is something that we believe is worth investing in going forward.
I don't quite understand. The 100 is random?
So it will be households that meet the state definition of domestic violence survivor. So unfortunately, at any given moment, somewhere between 35 and 50% of the heads of household entering the DHS shelter system have a history of domestic violence, excluding the asylum seekers.
This will be tens of thousands.
I mean, that is who's entering the system at any point in time. There is certainly a broader eligibility pool. This is a pilot program. We're going to be able to really test the effectiveness relative to the scope of services that are provided within the standard DHS shelter system, and I absolutely believe it's something we can build on.
Yeah, to one of the survivors, if she could speak in Spanish possibly about her housing experience, what having this resources available to her now, especially the affordable housing component. Is that possible? Or
We can try to find somebody for you afterwards. All right, thank you. Oh, you're on topic? Go ahead.
I'm just curious about the cost. I know that part of this is funded with like a CD grant from the Helmsley Foundation, but is there any estimate of how much it would cost annually, and it could get baseline if it is, or I guess what the financial plan is going forward if the pilot is deemed successful?
So we are very grateful for a $300,000 grant from the New York City Fund to end youth and family homelessness to support the housing navigation work. And then in addition, the city is paying for the City for HEPS vouchers, and that cost there will vary depending on the size of the family and where they're moving.
The $43 million in investment, who's in a combination with the city, with New Destiny? Where's the funding coming from?
The 43 million was the money that we've put into the Women Forward program. So that's a bunch of different programs that we've done that we can get you that list for.
I have a question on topic and off topic as well.
That's it. We have no more time.
Can I ask a really quick question? Hi, Masa Saidi. So nice to meet you, Mayor. I have a question about parking garage inspections. As you know, the parking garage owners are required to hire engineers to inspect the property. We found that hundreds of owners are not following the rules. The deadline was last year, and despite the $1,000 monthly fine, they're just not doing these inspections. What can the city do to encourage them to do these safety checks?
You know, normally we talk about this on topic, off topic tomorrow, but you just were biting at the bit to ask this question, and it would break my heart that I wouldn't answer your question, you know. We need to get you speak with Commissioner Otto to find out exactly where we are on this so we can be specific. With Kayla and her newborn that's about to come, we'll make sure that we connect you today to find out exactly what that number is that you just shared with us. I'm not aware of that, but Commissioner Otto will be able to answer that directly. Okay? Yes.
Any idea why there has been an uptick in domestic violence incidents?
I'm not sure. And greater minds, maybe there's greater minds than mine.
I think one thing that I always want to point out when we're talking about this is that we're still, sort of seeing the impacts of COVID, right? And I think that really is playing a role here, where people were at home for years and couldn't always access the resources. We did our best to reach people virtually, but we weren't reaching everybody virtually, right? And families experienced economic hardship and other losses. So I think all of that compounds, and I think it's really important to sort of keep in mind as we're telling the story of what's happening over the past few years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.